Alright, so in this video we're actually going to start to paint with the flood tool. Um, First off though, I wanted to scrub our program from having some of these unnecessary things. Often when you're programming you're going to start to develop a system and not really think through how you could do it more efficiently. One of the ways that this program is inefficient is we didn't need to pass over or unnecessarily duplicative. We didn't really need to pass over this old color, new color thing. In fact, we already have plenty of information to get at that information. So we already have the new color being passed over as a color object, and we have the entire image, so we can always detect based on the X and Y what the old color is. So I'm going to delete that, and we are going to say instead old color equals image dot get RGB at X and Y, and new color equals color dot get RGB. So what this does is it takes whatever the color value is that's passed over in this parameter, as is usual, and grabs the RGB integer value from that. And the other one, the old color, just looks at the pixel in our image and gets the integer RGB value from there. And again, that int that represents color is just like a longer number that is formatted in a specific way to represent a particular color value. So the other thing that we can do to make this thing more efficient and readable is to get rid of this old color and new color thing in our flood method. So because those things are parameters, or I mean are fields in our class, we don't need to have them passed over every time through the method, and so we can get rid of them to sort of clarify what's going on, I hope. So we'll remove them from every single flood method call, and now our program is a little bit more efficient, or at least easy to read, I hope. Okay, so over in Paint Panel, we need to add that tool. So the only additional information that our flood fill tool requires is its buffered image. Otherwise, I already have the button set up to listen. I have a constant that you may or may not have made called fill tool over here. So in our Paint Panel, all I need to do is set it up, else if options window dot get current tool equals tool dot square tool, dot fill tool. Then I want to add to strokes dot add a new fill tool or object, and I want to do that at tool X, which is where they clicked, and tool Y. Tool X and tool Y are where they clicked, and then tool width. We have to pass that over even though it's unnecessary for this tool, but tool height and tool color, and finally we need to pass over the image because we need to know what that image is in order to flood it appropriately. So now I need to actually, I need to import tool from the tool package, and tool, I spelled that wrong, and this is a dry run also, so this may or may not work, I guess, but let's see if it works. So if my program starts fairly soon, that's a different version of the program, excuse me. I'll have to open up Paint window, run it, and if it opens up, okay, so there's this fill button. Let's just draw a shape quickly so that we can know if that shape is being filled, and we'll set it to I don't know, green like that. Fill and click there, and notice not being filled yet. So I will pause. Oh, it's getting a Stack Overflow issue. I'll deal with that and I'll come back at you in a minute. Alright, so I think I figured out the issue. One of the things that was going on is that we need to make sure we grab the buffered image and store it here in our field so that we can actually reference it. So you have to add in the constructor method this.image equals image, which means take the image passed over, that's this one, and store it in our field. Also, we needed to add in the Paint Panel class under mouse pressed, add stroke, because when they are selecting, when the fill tool is being added, we really just want people to click on something. So right when the mouse is depressed, we want to add a stroke in that instance, and I believe that fixes our issue, or my issue. So if we run our program, this point, we can set the brush width and height so that it's easier to draw a shape. Draw it. Oops, I still have to fill that in, otherwise our fill tool will discover that hole. And then let's fill it in with something green, and if you click it should fill that space, and it'll fill the space around it also. So we have our fill tool implemented at this point, and that's plenty for this video.